Is that a breakup?
I think we have a situation right here.
On the Feeling Station.
Hello, hey, what's happening?
Hi, Tinta. How are you doing?
Hey, not too bad in yourself?
I just saw a missed call, so I was trying to figure out whether I should call you back.
At least now we're connected. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Before we go too far, I need to tell you that we are recording an episode of The Feeling Station, so please do your best not to say your name, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
In fact, I think what I'm going to do right away is go into the naming ceremony. And if anybody's listening to this for the first time, The Feeling Station is a podcast that touches on breakup stories that people would like to talk about with a view to give you a lesson from the guest's experience. And part of the process, and why this has been working very well, is that we try and keep people as anonymous as we can. So I have a name to give you, sir.
Okay, that's all right.
And the name that I've picked out for you is from Angola. And yeah, it's a bit of a funny one because the people of Angola, you know, have so many Portuguese names. I struggled to find an original home-cooked name, per se. 90% of them were Portuguese. So yours is Angolan, but it's Portuguese at the same time. All right?
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I spoke to my friend from Portugal and said, how do I pronounce this? And he said, just make sure you pronounce the R and the L. So your name is Carlos.
Okay.
Which in simpler English terms is Carlos, pretty much. And that name means free man. So do you feel like you're a free man since the experience you're about to share?
Ooh, I'm way beyond liberated.
Really? I like the sound of that, brother. So let's go into the next bit. This is where you play a part as well. What are you going to call the lady that you're going to talk about today?
Whew. To be honest, I think because my story is a bit unique in a way, I believe. It's going to be difficult for me to just speak about, because I'm going to touch on a series of events and relationships that took place. So
Great.
I don't know whether I should start with the build up to the actual relationship in question,
or
to just touch into it directly, because there's been a series of bad breakups.
Yeah. I've never had a scenario like this where okay, so hold up a second. Is there a possibility that this is going to be more than one recording?
There's a possibility, yes.
Okay. So why don't we do it this way? Okay, let's do them in chunks, right? So we're going to do the first chunk now. See where we get to, and then we pick the next chunk.
No, okay. The very first chunk will lead into part of the main story. Then the main story has an entanglement to it. I'm sorry to
Lord of mercy, you just had to drop in that word, didn't you? There I was busy trying to avoid using that ever on this podcast, and bang, it's there before we've even gone too far.
No, but then it's an entanglement in a good way, because I was out of something and got into something.
Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. Let's just play it purely by ear, okay? I'll get a feel of what it's like. If we're sort of reaching the time that we need to stop, which is about 45 minutes, then we will let it continue as part of the second episode.
Okay.
All right? So what are you going to call the first person you're going to talk about?
The first person I'll call Lutando.
Lutando.
Yes, I know it's a South African name. I love the name.
Yeah,
it's Zulu.
It's a very nice name.
I keep forgetting the direct meaning to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that Tando means love. I just don't know what the Lu aspect of it means.
Lutando should be one who brings love, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So is the person that you're talking about someone who brought love?
Yes. They rekindled the love fire in me.
Okay. That sounds like it had died down at some point.
It had.
We won't get into that one because already I know we got a series to tackle. So, hey, Carlos, let's get straight into this. So the episode is about Lutando and Carlos.
Yes.
What did you like about Lutando in the first place?
Her eyes.
Oh, nice.
She had amazing eyes. Her personality.
Mm-hmm.
She was I don't think I'd ever find the right words. to describe what it means.
You sound like you're mesmerized, brother. Those are the only few times I've never had anything to say when I was absolutely mesmerized by something.
Yes, I was. Okay, so let me get into it. This is 2017, I believe. Yes.
Okay, that's not too far back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We had a little group chat with a few friends that we've had for about 4.5 years. Back home in Zimbabwe. But now, fast forward to whatever happened, it happened to me that led to me moving to South Africa. I'm working in South Africa. I was a manager at a big brand, and I can't mention the name. And I was managing about 3 or 4 stores, retail.
Yeah.
So daily activities would go on our group chat, would chat with a few friends, connect a whole lot, and just catch up. At first, it started as a social group.
Yeah.
Until the administrator decided, you guys, you know what? Since you guys are regulars at my place, and you're always here, and this group chat now seems to be getting very personal and intimate.
Okay.
It would be good that you guys get to know each other on a business level.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So everybody posts about your business, talk about what you do. It's always good for us to support each other in business because, yes, you guys are supporting my business. You come to my bar, you have your lunch, your sadza, etc. at my bar, but you're only supporting me. So I feel like right now you guys also need to support each other's businesses. So we all posted what we do.
Yeah.
And things started going that way. A whole lot of business connections came through from there until a week where we decided, let's go social again.
Oh, nice.
Then they said, okay, post a picture about and tell us about yourself. So there's a lady who posted a picture with a couple of women in it. Then we said, so which one is you?
Who's who? Yeah.
She mentioned who she was.
Yeah.
So I had seen the cousin that was next to her. So I remember I sent her a message. I was like, oh, hi, my name is so-and-so from the group.
Yeah.
I noticed you do, she was selling cell phones. So I noticed you work for a cell phone brand and you sell ABCD. I used to supply accessories to one big brand in the country as well.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in accessories, I can also give you accessories. She says, okay, no problem. The connection started from there. A few days later, I was like, okay, you know what? Out of curiosity, I noticed a picture that you sent. There was a lady standing next to you. Who is she? Then she says, that's my cousin. And it's a non-starter.
Yeah, wow. Put the brakes before you even got anywhere, brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, but I didn't make my intention known. I only asked who she was.
I mean, that's kind of typical though, isn't it? I mean, I've seen some guys who genuinely want to ask someone what the time is. And they go, hi, excuse me, miss. No, I got a boyfriend.
Yeah.
and that's what happened to you here, isn't it?
I was quickly brushed off before I could explain why.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, fine. You know what? The main reason why I was asking is because the face is familiar. Then he says, oh, no, I know your type.
Wow. It gets even worse. Yeah.
So it was shots being fired left, right, and center. So I decided, okay, fine, let me give it a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Then I came back, guns blazing the next day. And I was like, you know what? You hooked me up your cousin's number. I noticed you're a vodka person. I'll organize a month's supply of vodka on me. At the time. So
wow.
why I had such confidence at the time, especially with the vodka emphasis part, is because a friend of mine had just started a vodka brand, and I was meant to be doing product placement in certain places.
I see. That particular brand. I see. That's very clever.
And so I was also investing in that.
Yeah, that was very clever.
So I thought, okay, if I give her a month's supply, I can also then use her as a marketing person in that particular area.
That is very clever.
So it was more business and also me getting what I want.
Yeah.
So she says, nah, my cousin, I told you she's not that kind of person. I said, okay, fine. You know what? Tell me about your cousin. Then I started hearing about the cousin. She's very protective of her cousin, isn't she? Yes. So the reason why she was protective, the cousin was a recent divorcee. She had a daughter who was about my little sister's age. Which is what? Okay, back then she was what, 7? Okay. Now she's turned 10 a week ago. So 7 at the time. Yes. So she says, there's no way she would fall for you. Trust me. Number one, you're involved in entertainment. You're a people's person. She likes her life private. She's low key. Then I said, no, I'll be the judge of that. And again, entertainment is not fully my sole business.
Yeah.
I can get it. I can get out anytime I please.
Yeah.
She says, oh, okay, fine. Let me talk to her first.
Wow.
Then I said, if you give her a heads up, you've already shut the door for me before I've entered.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she finally buys. She gives me the number. We start talking, and I think within the first week, it was a bit tense.
How so?
You text, hi, my name is so and so. I forced your number out of your cousin.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get to know you. Then she says, firstly, there's nothing to know about me. Number one. Number two, I'm often very busy, so I'm hardly on social media. So texting me on WhatsApp, chances are you won't get to me.
Wow.
Ooh. Or if I do respond, I'll respond after a couple of days.
Did you see that as a bit of a challenge?
Not at all.
No. Okay.
When I want something, there's no obstacles that come in my way.
That's the point I was trying to drive at, to say, okay, if she's dishing all this stuff, which feels like an obstacle, was it sort of fueling that spirit within you to make sure you make it happen?
This is the thing. I don't know if it happens with all men, but to the majority of us, where there's a challenge is where we're willing to fight the most.
Absolutely. That's within our DNA.
Yes. And by virtue of my totem being a lion, I'm a hunter.
Hey. Go for it, Chief.
When a hunter, I go for the kill.
Yeah.
And I don't aim for the legs. I go straight for the heart.
Oh, hey, this guy. Ladies, are you listening to this fella here?
No, this is the thing about me.
Wow.
I wouldn't say I'm overly confident.
Yeah.
I have my moments. I am a very, very shy character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I put my mind to something and I really want it, I go for it.
So how did you break this wall down with Lutando?
I then made it a point that I was going to call every morning. And I was going to call every evening until she got comfortable with the fact that, okay, this person is not just the WhatsApp, hi, how are you kind of person.
Yeah.
Then she says, to be honest with you, I'm not looking for a relationship. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong place.
Wow.
And I said, I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was looking for friendship. It all starts with friendship. We got comfortable. We started talking every day. Fast forward, the relationship started about a month or two after that.
Okay. You made it.
I made it. We started talking. This still long distance. She was in Mashingo. So she worked for telecoms company. She's a Mashingo. She's a sales assistant. Also working on going to uni.
And you were in South Africa at this time?
I'm in South Africa at the time. So firstly, the issue that we had the most was I had not revealed my age.
Okay.
So we are talking. I now know more about her. And also because I was doing a little bit of fishing through the cousin as well.
Yeah.
I now know more about her. I now know more about her family and her background. Then you got to the part where she started asking about me. I explained, I told her my age. Then she says, oh, bugger. I shouldn't have got myself into this.
Oh, why? Because now that's going to make me ask you how old you guys were.
4 years older than me.
Oh, she was older.
So she's 4 years older than me. She has a daughter who was around about the same age as the last born in my family.
Whoa.
So she says, okay, fine. You know what? Won't this be an issue with your family? Then I said, no, not at all. I spoke to my mother. I explained what was going on. Me and my mother have a very strong relationship.
What? You told your mom that you have a girlfriend that's 4 years older than you are, and that she's got a child that's as old as your younger sister?
Yes.
Jeez, what did your mom say?
She was happy.
Bruh.
My mother's very supportive. I'll be very honest. Anything that has to do with me and that I put my heart and mind to, if it makes me happy, she's happy.
Okay.
But if you then decide to go sideways, you'll become public enemy.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, no, makes sense. Makes sense.
So we went along, the relationship was going well, and I see a future in this. I planned a trip to Harare. That was now for August 2017.
Was this going to be your first time seeing it in person?
This is my first time seeing her in person. So she was going to Mutara around the same week as well. So she went to Mutara, they dropped her daughter for the holidays with her mother.
Yeah.
She proceeded to Harare for work. She had work in Harare for a week. So we met the first day.
How did you feel?
I was happy. I was elated. She looked way better in person than I'd been seeing in the pictures.
Oh, nice. That's always a good thing.
So we started getting along. We sit down. We have our lunch. The cousin then comes to pick her up. What was supposed to be an hour's lunch ended up 4 hours. We hit it off like a house on fire. Everything was amazing. Then I went about my business as well. She called me later on and she says, "No, I've just booked a room at the Holiday Inn." So that's where I'm going to be staying. If you want to come and see me, then you're free to come through.
Okay.
So I went about my business through the day. I finished, went to the Holiday Inn. And funny thing happens. Just as we get to the lobby, she had just been telling me in the afternoon about her ex-husband and how he cheated on her with her friend. So that's how they broke up.
Right.
Because he cheated on her countless times, and then the last breaking stone was when he actually moved on and had a child with her friend.
Jesus.
We get to the hotel lobby.
Yeah.
As we were talking, the guy is right in front of us.
Oh.
With some lady.
What?
Yes.
Who saw who first? Did she see him first or he saw her first?
She saw him first.
Whoa.
So
yeah.
She gives me a sign and she says, "Look, that's the guy we're talking about." Oh, I thought, okay. I'm not in a position to comment at the moment.
This is too soon for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got into the elevator. We go up. We go to her room. Then next thing, the guy sending messages. He says, "So is that the new guy?"
Oh, so he saw her as well.
Yeah. We got in the same elevator.
Oh, what? This is nuts.
Yes.
Okay, right. It's not unusual for me to be in an elevator here and nobody says a word because people generally don't talk to each other.
Yes.
But you have in that
being in the same elevator, and this is people that know each other, so there's no two ways about it. Just hi.
So it was just hi, and that was it.
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Did you say hi to him as well?
Well, he greeted me, so I had no choice. I had to respond.
Okay.
Then later, so we were with the cousin sister as well.
Yeah.
Then he texts the cousin and she says, no, he texted her actually.
Yeah.
Then he says, "Oh, so is that the new guy?" Then she says, "Yes, why?" Then he says, "Oh, okay, you guys look good together. For the first time I've actually seen you happy. I hope it stays that way."
What?
Then she says, "Oh no, thank you."
Okay.
So we get into the room, the messages come. I ordered food. I ordered a bottle of wine and a bottle of vodka. Then the cousin comes through again. She had just gone out to take a call. She also then got a text from the guy saying, "I need to see you." So I think because she was on the call, she didn't see the message on time.
Yeah.
So he then sent to Lutando as well. And he says, "Okay, since your cousin is still there, please tell her I need to see her. I haven't seen her in a long time." So she says, "No, you can come to the car and see her. She'll be leaving in about 30 minutes. So my plan was to leave around the same time as the cousin, which is in those 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But somehow Lutando happened and she made sure that I didn't leave.
I mean, I need to ask you something though, Carlos, right? A woman says, "I've booked a hotel, you can come and chill if you want." And then did you honestly think you were going to leave that hotel room that evening?
I'll be honest with you. I was in that moment where I really saw myself wanting to spend every minute of my stay, that period that I was in Zim, for as long as possible. But I knew it wasn't going to be possible because I also have a business that I run in Zimbabwe. And again, we have a family business that I also need to keep track of.
Yeah.
So I had 3 branches to go and close down. We have a catering company
Yeah.
as a family. So I had 3 branches I need to go and close down. I have my business. I need to go collect money from people in town.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay. I get it. So
we're
your
caught up in that
mindset.
moment.
So your mindset was okay. Do this bit. Hang out, and
Business
then
first,
go
then
and
hang out after.
okay.
But no, it didn't happen that way. It went in reverse. I now ended up calling the people to go and pick up whatever they need to pick up and bring it directly to me.
Oh
So everybody
man.
started bringing the stuff to me at the Holiday Inn.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a amazing night. I will not lie.
Yeah.
We sat and spoke about life, about future, our past, and in that moment is when she really got deeply into wanting to know me as a person,
Yeah.
and I felt special in that moment.
Hmm.
I'd never had a woman who actually sits down and is willing to understand my vision, where I see myself in the next 5 years, what my plan is for the next 2 weeks. And she became that kind of person.
Nice.
She was just blunt, and she still is a straight up person who will tell you if it's A, is A. There's no plan B. Because if you're thinking of a plan B, you are already have instilled the mindset that plan A might fail.
Wow. So did she ask you if you had her as plan A?
She never got asking that, but because I had already made my intention clear.
Okay. Okay.
I know what I want, and I know how I want to get it, and I know where I want to get it and when I want to get it. So being with you, I know I want to be with you. Getting married, I know I want to get married at some point. And if it's you, then definitely you need to align to ABCD, ABCD. So we shared similar values regarding that. But being a person who's been broken before,
Yeah.
it's probably something she's heard before as well. So she's not going to just bow down to it and say, okay, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. So whilst you're still on that one, I think this is a very important time for me to get this element out. I normally get the lessons that you want people to learn from the onset, but because I didn't know who we're going to talk about, I was a little hesitant to ask that question. But now I think it's a little safe. What do you want people to learn from your experience with Lutando so far?
Firstly, I would say watch your foundation.
What's your foundation?
Yes.
Okay. Explain.
When I say watch your foundation, every relationship is founded by certain principles.
Yeah.
And certain standards. You have certain guidelines to a foundation. You know exactly what you're in it for.
Yeah.
And what you're looking to gain out of it. But again, be realistic in the things you do.
Okay. So be realistic about the things that you have in that foundation that you're putting together to
when you of the relationship you're trying to establish. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I thought I was realistic, but I with time I got to see that maybe I think I was a bit too fast in the things that I did.
What did you do?
I rushed into getting a number, talking to her about my intentions, what I aim to achieve in life.
Yeah.
Before I got to understand what her vision was as well.
So was this very one-sided then from the onset?
It was one-sided, yes.
Okay.
Until a certain stage where I then knocked some sense into myself and started going forward into now establishing what she wanted.
Okay.
But I'd say it was a little too late because I didn't get the time to understand the person more than I was willing to understand the relationship itself.
What happened for you to finally get that sense knocked in?
When you're dealing with a person who's been broken before, there has to be a certain level of caution that you need to adhere when you're firstly conversating with that person. Secondly, your plans and intentions of the person. They need to be so clear to a point that if it's dates you've set and if it's timelines you've put towards certain things, stick to those timelines, which is something that I didn't make clear in the things that I did with her. So when we then got to introducing each other to families, we got very fast about it. In the first 5 months, I think, my mom knew about her. Her mom knew about me. We were now comfortable to an extent that I would even text her mom. We got to talking, yes. I could talk to a little sister. Just as times got more intense, even the daughter as well. She then introduced me to the daughter. So I planned a holiday for her. She was meant to come to South Africa.
Yeah.
But she wasn't willing to take her vacation days at work yet.
Okay.
Because she felt she still needed a bit more time to get to know me.
Before she makes that commitment.
Yes. But I felt, how would you be able to know me if you're not going to be willing to spend the time with me? So that's where we then started having issues. So this is me. I believe I'm a hopeless romantic. I am the type that will send flowers just because it's a Tuesday.
Wow. Get in there, brother. Yes.
Or, I don't know, plan a little lunch date for you and friends if I'm not around, just for no reason. So I started planning all these little things for her, even as I was out of the country. I started looking for the closest business that can supply you with the whatever that you need within the closest area to you, even when I'm not there.
Yeah.
So I spoke to one of her workmates this one day, and I had a cake made for her. So there's a Spanish statement. I think I'll have to look for it again and get the exact words in Spanish. But in English, it's translated to it's estaba perdido. Oh gosh, can't remember the ending to it.
Yeah.
But the translation is, I was lost in the city until you found my heart.
Yeah. I mean, I keep saying this, ladies, are you listening to this guy? Okay, this is the third bar that is dropped in this podcast. I need to double check something. Are you trying to impress my listeners or what? Because wow.
Bro, you have no idea how much I love doing. I love love. I love and value love. To such an extent that I would do anything to love and keep the person that I love.
That's mad.
So with this one, I had a cake made, and it had that statement on it: "Lost in the city until you found my heart." So I used to send it to her regularly, so she knew it was what it meant. And then at the bottom. So I did two statements, one in Spanish, the other in Italian. The Italian one,
yes.
The Italian one is a little crazy because it says even if I die today, my spirit will continue to live on. I don't remember the rest of it.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And a part of me will forever remain with you. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's something along those lines.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
So here I am. I have these two statements made. They put on the cake. Cake's delivered to a workplace. So it was Valentine's the week before. I had done stuff for Valentine's already. She had that stuff delivered to her at work. Then I had the cake the week after. So Valentine's, I never really got a reaction out of her, which was odd.
Like no reaction.
She just texted, "Oh, thank you so much. I saw the gift. I like it, etc." So she had wanted a Brazilian weave for a while because she had a wedding she was going to attend in March. I bought two of those.
Yeah.
I had two of those sent her. So there, no reaction.
Okay.
And then her little sister's birthday, I'd also done the whole birthday party for her little sister. Again, no reaction from there. And this is at a point where I've even taken up a few financial responsibilities of hers. I was paying half her rent. I was paying her maid and her fuel as well.
Why did you choose to do all of that?
Well, they all say the man is a provider, right? And even if we're to face reality, no matter what, as a man, in as much as you would want to say things are tight or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
The 90% of the time, you will lose your woman to another provider.
Let's just touch on that for 1 second, because
Yes.
this thing about providing stuff, it's very easy to assume that it's financial provisions. So the rent, the gifts, all of
Yes.
this stuff are taken care of, so that she doesn't need to worry about financial stuff.
Yes.
But then bear in mind, this is a broken woman. What she actually needs to be provided is comfort, a shoulder to lean on, and peace of mind.
Hmm.
To which you've sort of alluded that everything was very focused on you. So that
Yes.
one important thing was missing.
Um. So this is the thing. When initially when I started talking to her,
Yeah.
there were certain things she used to talk about. Like she would talk about her finances. And from my point of view, where I stood at the time,
Mm-hmm.
there was a bit of financial lack in the things she was doing because she had a rent to pay. She's got a child to support.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a mother who also needs support.
Yeah.
She's trying to organize with her schooling as well. So I figured if I lessen that burden for her,
Yeah.
then she has lesser to worry about. The lesser
Okay.
she has to worry about, the more she can focus on what we are trying to establish.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so there's no response. The Valentine's gift, no response. Sisters stuff, no response. And then what happened
Yes.
next?
So on this particular one,
Mm.
I sent the gift. She gets it a little bit after work.
Mm-hmm.
The friend then took it out of her car after work.
Mm-hmm.
They recorded a video. Um, yes, because I knew my person. I knew what we had going on. I was happy with the fact that she got it, and I could see the reaction that was it was genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But when I then sent that to my uncle, he says, "How come she doesn't look excited?"
Right.
He says, "How come she doesn't look excited at all? Like, I mean, this is a huge gesture. You've just gone all the way out of a whole Valentine's gift and all of these other things that you continue to do, and there isn't much of a reaction to that.
Yeah.
Yet it's a gift that just come for no reason. I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but there's a bit of a mishap there." So again, when I then started looking at previous gestures that I'd done,
Mm.
I then noticed there wasn't really much of a reaction too, which then got me thinking, okay, are we on the same page or not? Again, listen, communication is very important.
Mm.
I didn't communicate. Instead, I started to withdraw.
Okay.
So when I started pulling back with a few favors, so with the whole my maid etc, she then stopped talking to me as much as she used to.
Mm.
So I decided, okay, fine, let me also delay on certain things. So I'll delay on the payments that needed to be made.
Mm.
I would delay so much that it would allow her time to then ask me
Mm.
when it's going to be done,
Mm.
when those obligations are going to be met.
Mhm.
And I at some point I didn't meet the obligations as well,
Right.
and with no explanation. Which is where I say communication is important. So in that moment, I then got to a point where I just isolated myself and locked down for a bit
Why?
because I seem to be the one initiating the conversations now. On a Wednesday, I texted good morning. I got a response around 4 p.m. And she says I was busy. Saturday, then that was it, all the way into Saturday. Saturday, we spoke in the morning. She says, "No, I'm taking my daughter for swimming. I'm going swimming with her." So I said, "Okay, no problem." They went swimming. So she would send pictures here and there, but 90% of the people that were there were male friends.
Mm.
She's gone to swim with the daughter with some male workmates, which I had no problem with.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was silence on that throughout there, the rest of the day, until Sunday in the afternoon around 2 p.m. And she says, "I forgot my phone in my workmate's car.
Okay.
I only got the phone back just now." And I'm thinking, I'm a guy.
Mm.
There is no way I would see a lady's phone in my car and just go all the way through the next day.
Yeah.
Without returning that phone.
Yeah.
Even if times are hard, I know fuel was a bit hard to find and all of that, but that excuse didn't fly with me.
So did you call her out on it?
I just said it doesn't make sense. Then I let it slide.
She didn't say anything back?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
So in that moment, that's when that was the biggest red flag for me. But I didn't then react the right way. Maybe if I had called it out directly, it would have been a different scenario. But I didn't. Instead, like I told you, I then started to withdraw. And in my withdrawing, I'm going through my Instagram. So I had just signed an artist from Mashingo.
Yeah.
So I'm doing well. This kid is doing well. He had one song that was out. And it was doing so well on the charts that people were looking for this kid, but didn't know how to access him. I had been sending messages to his Facebook and Instagram and still getting no responses until I reached out to her and I asked her to look for him. So she kept asking people in her store, does anybody know this boy? Does anybody know this boy? And unfortunately, no one knew him. Until I called her 3 hours later and I said, please help me find that boy. And in that moment, she then asked again, guys, he has a song called this, and that. Please help me look for this kid. Then some guy in the store says, I know him. This is a customer. I know the boy. He went to school with my younger brother, so I can help you find him. I can get his number today. Then I said, if you give me his number, I will send you money. So I sent the amount and I told her to give it to the guy if once we confirm that it is the boy. So I got this kid's number. I signed the artist and now I'm working with him. This is now February 2018. We're pushing one of his new songs. And on my Instagram comes this girl. She pops up, she starts liking my pictures, and I went to her profile. Then I started going through. With this particular one, I will call her Jemoyo. Jemoyo derives from Shona. It means matters of the heart. So Lutando seems to now be getting distant. And I start eyeing Jemoyo.
And on that bombshell, I am going to pause this episode right here, purely because we know this is a series and it's going to lead to entanglements before the major breakup.
Yes.
And so I think now is not a bad time to actually pause this one, and then we'll set up a session to record the next episode.
That's all right, because the Jemoyo starts from here. Yes.
Okay. Wow, what an interesting one. So just as I wrap this up, we've been talking about Carlos and Lutando. Lutando was coming from a broken home. She had a huge wall that Carlos was able to break through with his charm that you guys heard through the best part of this episode. But in breaking through those walls, he didn't pay much her attention, perhaps as much attention as she needed to get, given where she was coming from, which eventually led him getting into what the lesson of this episode was, and that was to watch your foundation, because the things that you put into your foundation could either make or break what it is that you're trying to build together. I get the feeling that she wasn't happy, and Carlos obviously didn't notice that something wasn't right until it was too late. And then he didn't communicate. He withdrew from the whole thing slowly, and then his eyes started to wander, and I felt this was a good spot for us to stop this episode. And I hope you guys are actually inspired and encouraged to join us in next week's episode, where he's going to go into more detail, which I believe is where the real wahala starts to build up.
This one, it is going to be a juicy one, because I think this is where the main story starts.
Oh dear. So for those who are listening to this for the first time, make sure that you perhaps catch up with the other ones, and definitely do not miss next week's episode. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Feeling Station. I'm your host, Tinto, and catch you next week. Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis on Daro Raini and Chagizang.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Satis on Daro Raini and Chagizang.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motor no to kujiziro amai.
Love is a
runoto kuchidzirwa ma